loop for the roll call of the JUICE mission. Please reply to my call with your call sign and status go or no go. OM.
OM.
Oh.
SOM.
SOM go.
Data handling.
Data handling go.
AOCS.
AOCS go.
Platform.
Platform go.
Flight dynamics.
Flight dynamics go.
Project rep.
Project rep go.
Project support.
Project support go.
Softcode.
Softcode.
Go.
Software support.
Software support go.
STRAC.
STRAC go.
Scheduling.
Scheduling go.
Thanks. This completes the roll call for JUICE. We are go for launch.
So we're all ready for launch. Just waiting for the rocket to get out of the launch pad. Back to you, Matt.
As you can see, everything's ready for launch. Over to you, back over to you, Lisa, in Kourou.
Very much, Matt. And it was great, actually, to see people whooping here as they heard that everything is ready to go. So we heard it from ESOC. Operational teams are ready over there. The spacecraft is ready here in Kourou. But what about JUICE? Well, I'm with Mihaela, and you're going to tell us from ESA, and you're going to tell us how is JUICE doing? Is JUICE ready?
Morning, Lisa. Yes, JUICE is ready. As the project team, we are so ready. It has been years since we have been waiting for this moment, and we're all very excited. As we speak, my colleagues are a few kilometers away in LBC control room, and yesterday evening at 7:15 p.m., the satellite has been switched on, and together with the flight operators, we are closely monitoring it as we speak. It has been quite an intensive launch campaign, but we are in excellent spirits, and we are excited to watch JUICE starting this journey today towards Jupiter and its icy moons as planned.
Fantastic. You say as planned because your role is schedule controller, huge responsibility. Does that mean you're in charge of making sure it takes off as planned?
Part of my responsibility, yes. But when you speak about scheduling in the agency, it's not one person's job. Actually, it's a team exercise. And thus, the JUICE project team, we are so schedule-oriented. We have a strong planning mindset. And if you take a step back and you look at the impressive mission we are seeing today, you have 10 state-of-the-art instruments, you have an impressive spacecraft, you have the most large solar arrays ever flown for an interplanetary mission, 85 square meters. Then you translate all this information to milestones, you understand how much work it takes and how much excellence in project management.
Mihaela, when we spoke earlier, you told me this is 8 years of your professional life. How are you feeling today in a nutshell?
I'm so excited because, honestly, for me, JUICE is my entire career in the agency. I was shortly assigned to this mission when I joined, and I am exceptionally proud to be part of this team. And I want to say, have a good launch to all my colleagues here on the Spaceport, my colleagues watching now in ASTEC, my colleagues in ESOC, which are working, and my colleagues in ESAC. Have a great launch, everyone. We all worked hard for it, and we all deserve it.
You absolutely do. Thank you so much for being with us, Mihaela. And so, as Mihaela was saying, so many years of work for her teams, for teams around the world. So we're going to take a look at their achievements, and we're going to meet our passenger in this next film. And back to us here in Kourou. So, talking about explorers, we have two of the faces of space exploration with us here today. And I'm very pleased to welcome two of Europe's most experienced astronauts. We have Matthias Maurer and we have Thomas Pesquet with us here today. Back to us here in Kourou. So, talking about explorers, we have two of the faces of space exploration with us here today. And I'm very pleased to welcome two of Europe's most experienced astronauts. We have Matthias Maurer and we have Thomas Pesquet with us here today. So I have, my first question is for you, Matthias. It's all very well, you know, sending juice out there, but when we go out there to space, send, spacecrafts like JUICE, what does it bring us back here on Earth?
I think at the beginning of everything is the human curiosity. We humans, we want to understand. When we fly to space, we want to understand and learn. It's also applicable in science and technology in general. And once we understand, we want to translate it into applications, see like how can we make our life on Earth easier, better, with the knowledge that we gained in space. And so all the stuff that we do in space, it directly feeds back into applications. Just looking at the huge solar panels of the probe, 85 square meters. It's like today, we are talking about green energy to have life on Earth more sustainable. Without solar panels developed for space and then spin off onto Earth applications, this transformation in energy for Earth applications would not be possible. And I mean, sometimes it takes longer, sometimes the application will come years after the science has been done. So thanks to Einstein's relativity theory, we have now the best navigation system in the world, the Galileo system, and everybody can use this with a mobile application in their hands.
Thank you very much. So we're sending JUICE out on its journey today, but what about the upcoming destinations for human space exploration?
Yes, so we humans, we can unfortunately not yet travel such large distances to Jupiter. So we fly to low Earth orbit, the International Space Station, and once this will end, we will continue with new, more modern platforms. But then we also continue exploration. We are part of the Artemis program. ESA is an essential part of NASA with the European Service Module. So we will be flying to the moon. And Thomas and I and our colleagues from the Astronaut Corps, we are dreaming of flying the first Europeans to the moon, being among them, hopefully stepping also on the planet. And it shall be a continuous presence on the moon. And on moon we will learn a lot for technology that we spin back to Earth applications, but we will also learn for later on for missions to Mars.
So talking about, you know, going to the moon, I mean, Thomas, are you getting ready to, you know, take part in any of these missions that Matthias is telling us about?
I think we are. I think ESA made the bold decision to send Europe onto this adventure, which was the right decision to make. I think we have a variety of destinations today. We should not forget low Earth orbit and the International Space Station. Our friend and colleague Andreas Mogensen is now in the final stretch for his mission, launching in August. And then we'll have a rotation of missions to low Earth orbit. We have new colleagues who have just started at the European Astronaut Center, and we're glad to have them. There's going to be so many missions to fly in the future, and obviously the Artemis missions. Everybody's trying to, you know, do their part. Everybody's trying to contribute what they've learned in space, what they've learned before, to go as a team, and that's what we're focusing on for the years to come.
So I hear the two of you telling me that you're both able and ready to go. Do you see yourself taking off from Europe's spaceport here in French Guiana, Thomas?
I think it'd be a dream, but it's more than a dream because we're having this conversation. We're working on this independent, you know, access to space for humans from French Guiana. We have all the building blocks. You know, we've had a reliable launcher, Ariane 5, Ariane 6 is going to follow suit. We've had the ATV, the transfer vehicle. We've had the CRV, the return vehicle. We have Space Rider. We have everything. We have all the building blocks. We just have to put them together. And for this, you need a vision. I think we have the vision. Now we need a mandate. But tomorrow, you can imagine, now that Europe is more mature, now that Europe is, you know, growing on the scene, people feel more and more European, sometimes because of the crisis around us. But at least the result is we're being more united. And I think that would be a fantastic project to kind of inspire Europe and to channel the best that Europe has to offer and to make Europeans dream for generations to come.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Stay with us because we have Josef Aschbacher. Josef, thank you so much for joining us. You are ESA Director General. Well, a very simple question to you. I mean, you know, we're talking here about, you know, the capability of space explorations. Are you going to make this happen? human
Well,
space exploration, of course.
I mean, it needs a lot of people to make this happen, but of course, my job as Director General of ESA is to make sure that the discussion takes place and that we have a discussion in Europe and preparing decisions in order to make this happen. In fact, we just received a report from a high-level advisory group called Revolution Space, and that really means a revolution for Europe in space to really engage, bring Europe one level higher in space exploration, literally, and make sure that Europe has all these capabilities which Thomas and Matthias have just described. So yes, we're doing everything to make it happen. But Lise, today we're here in front of the screens of JUICE. Let's talk about JUICE because that's such an exciting mission.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you, Thomas. Matthias, thank you very much for being with us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So for those of you who are joining us, we are just under 12 minutes to liftoff. And I'm here in Jupiter Control. We're about to see Ariane 5 take off with JUICE under its fairing, heading for Jupiter. And I am here with Raphaël Chevrier from Ariane Space. Raphaël is going to take us through every step along the way of this mission. Welcome to Road to Space, Raphaël.
Hello, Lise.
So why don't you take us through maybe the next steps coming up now?
Oh, absolutely. So Ariane 5 this morning is going to launch towards the east. So at such low latitude, we benefit from what we call the slingshot effect given by the rotation of the Earth, providing enough speed for JUICE. The launcher first performs a pitch maneuver to get into the required direction, and only 2 minutes and 17 seconds after liftoff, the two boosters have done their jobs of providing enough the main thrust, and they are detached from the launcher. And shortly after that, the fairing, which protected the spacecraft from the frictions of the air, is separated in two halves as we have crossed the limits of the atmosphere. We just don't need it anymore. And once the launcher reaches an intermediate orbit, the main stage is cut off and separated. We then enter the second proper phase of the flight with the ignition of the upper stage. The engine powers for about 16 minutes in order to raise speed and altitude and reach the targeted orbit for JUICE. The little towers that we see on the motion picture represent a chain of telemetry stations that are receiving data from Ariane 5 all along the flight path. And after some orientation maneuver, JUICE is separated on a liberations orbit, meaning it will have the required speed to escape the gravitational pull of the Earth. This is almost the end of the mission for the launcher perspective, as we still need to perform some disposal maneuvers of the upper stage, but this is definitely the beginning of the journey for JUICE. ESA teams will use the Norcia ground telemetry stations in Australia to acquire signal from the spacecraft and take full control of it.
I think I'll take over from here, Raphael, because I can actually hear...
There's an announcement here.
Yes, an announcement here. We're bringing you this information live. I'll actually listen to what's being said in French and I'll come back to you and translate. Sounds like we're heading for...
There is a risk of lightning right here.
Yes, a weather
The weather is quite challenging.
Right, it's been announced. So Marianne Claire has just announced that we're going to halt the launch operations for now, for today, due to weather conditions. But what does this mean, Raphael?
So it means that we usually check whether it's the winds at high altitude, the winds in the vicinity of the launch pad, and also the risk of lightning. This is the latest criteria that is not suited for a launch today. Unfortunately, this is out of our control, but it also reminds you that we don't take any risk when it comes to launching a satellite into space.
Absolutely. So as Raphael was saying, it has been announced that for today, the liftoff is going to be postponed. Of course, our passenger is safe and sound under the fairing, and we'll, of course, be bringing you all the information on a new date as soon as we get it. We have Stéphane Israël, who is going to come and make an announcement to us right now. Stéphane, welcome back. So
yes, thanks.
Faster than we had imagined.
Yes.
But it's beyond our control, right?
Yes, for sure. You know, it's part of our business,
Yeah.
and what is important is when you lift off, you must make sure that all the parameters are green. Again, the launcher was okay, juice was okay, but the final checks made by CNES on the weather were not okay. You have two reasons not to lift off: high altitude winds or risk of lightning.
Yeah.
The high altitude winds were okay. There was a risk of lightning, so now you see a red on the screen. What is important is that the launcher and juice are in stable configuration and in full security. We will be back tomorrow morning, a few seconds before we aim at lifting off at 8:14 Washington time, 9:14 Guyana time tomorrow morning.
Well, there we go. So Stéphane has actually given us the news here live. So the next date is tomorrow morning, and of course we're going to just bring that time forward by 1 minute. We were due to take off at 9:15. It's going to be 9:14, as you said.
Exactly.
So we will see you all tomorrow at more or less the same time, and we'll hope that the weather is going to be more clement tomorrow.
A little bit of patience, and it will be okay tomorrow. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Stéphane, and be assured that Juice is safe and sound under the fairing. It's just going to have to be a little more patient. Another 24 hours, let's hope. And that's it from us. Thank you, Stéphane.